today, Pinterest mistakes that digital product sellers make. And I know we were talking in WhatsApp yesterday, kind of ironing out what we wanted to talk about today.
Mhm.
And I realized the specific topic of this room is probably different than the things that we outlined for me to talk about in our WhatsApp chat because
Oh.
I actually feel like now that I know what the topic is, I should have looked sooner. I just like to
Well,
wing it.
I think so. We have four. This is the first of four, right? We're doing a series of Pinterest mistakes. And, when we talk about Pinterest mistakes, we often kind of go high and or go wide, I should say, and talk about mistakes people make with keywords and mistakes people make with visuals. And we'll probably talk about some of that in this series. But I think the idea was we really, like this week, we're going to talk about digital product sellers specifically and the mistakes we see them making.
Yeah.
And then next week, we're going to talk about the mistakes that we see. I forget. What are we doing next week? We're doing, is it e-commerce next week? And then coaches and service provider types in the third edition, right? No?
I don't even know what today was, Jana, so I don't know what next
Oh,
week's gonna
okay. And then the last one is bloggers.
be.
So basically we took four types of businesses that we know use Pinterest a lot.
Yes.
Digital product sellers, physical product sellers, coaches and service providers,
And
and
bloggers.
then bloggers, right? And those are like different monetization methods. So the Pinterest strategies are different for those audiences. And so we decided we were going to I'm like bringing you up to speed. We decided to go a little deeper for each of those entities so that we can kind of, just get more specific and relevant for those people and have like a
Yeah.
resource to send them to too, right? So that's the plan. Okay. So.
Okay, I'm down with this plan. So we've done a series of Pinterest mistakes videos on this channel, whether it's Jana and I doing them live or whether it's me doing videos by myself.
Mhm.
So we will have a Pinterest mistakes playlist that we can kind of link all these things together. So if you want to see any of the other videos, they'll be available to you. I'm just going to close my curtain really quick because
Okay.
the glare is blinding me in the face.
Your plants are so healthy and nice.
I actually have to water all these plants today. I think I have a
Okay.
total of 15 plants to water today.
You're such a good plant mom.
I know. Okay, so if we're talking about digital product sellers, Jana, do you want to like kick us off?
Sure. Okay. So first of all, digital product sellers, like who are we talking about? We're talking about anyone who sells a product that is not a service and it is
Mhm.
like delivered digitally, right? So that could be courses, it could be downloadables, it could be journals, it could be printables, like the kind that you get and then you print yourself at home because you get them digitally.
Yep.
Who am I missing? Products that are like information guide types of products, ebooks, anything that you sell that's a digital product,
Even
it's not a
like people who
service,
sell
delivered
digital
digitally.
prints. So this could be
Oh yeah.
like photographers and artists who are selling digital prints
Hmm.
or have digital print stores. So you don't have to just be limited to like coaches, service provider kind of niches
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
We could also be in that realm because they have digital products as well, although they
Yeah.
probably don't consider themselves digital product sellers, but they have digital products.
Yeah. Yep. So my mind does though go because I serve coaches and service providers primarily. Some of those
Yeah.
coaches and service providers get to the point where they want to productize their knowledge and their offers, and they usually go with like a digital course or
Mhm.
some kind of journal downloads, things like that. So that's where my brain goes right away. And so the first mistake that I see those people making all the time when they are on Pinterest is, and they come to me and they say like, oh, like they're kind of like, they kind of sort of have to know that they're making a mistake and they're like asking for permission to keep making it and I don't give it to them. So basically, and this just happened to me again last week. Someone came to me and was like, I have like one link. It's a landing page for my freebie, right? Because a lot of times what happens is digital product sellers have a really good freebie. Like they've worked hard to find a freebie that works well for them, that people really want, that converts well for them. And so they want to get that freebie in front of as many people as they can. And sometimes they start realizing that Pinterest is actually an amazing place to do that because once you get your pins up on Pinterest, and you start regularly, adding pins now and again, some of those pins can become legacy pins. And when that happens, you basically get passive opt-ins. If you have a good opt-in, and you get them on Pinterest and you put a bunch of pins on Pinterest that represent that opt-in. Not all of them are going to take off, but some of them will if you keep at it and you have a good strategy with good keywords, good with visuals, etc. So basically what I see, the big mistake that I see happening a lot is they're like, I have this one landing page link and like I've put like, 8 pins on the platform so far. And like one of them's doing really well and they get excited because they see that and they're like, oh, I have 10 opt-ins from this one pin that I just pinned like a month ago. And every day I look and I'm getting another one and it's so cool. Um, so they get excited about it, but they're like, I just have this one link. It's just like janaomedia.com/free guide or whatever. And they're like, can I just keep putting that same link on Pinterest over and over again? And so my response to them is like, no, that is a mistake. You don't want to keep doing that over and over again. You can end up getting shut down for spam if you are too repetitive with one link over and over again. And then also like if Pinterest is starting to work for you, then you want to like you're probably thinking like, oh, I want to do more. I want to capitalize on that. And so only having one link, it's like you're only really going to be able to pin that link, maybe once, maybe twice a week before it does get too spammy and repetitive, essentially. And then you're really running the risk of your account getting shut down. So we promised that we wouldn't talk just about mistakes. We promised we would talk about what to do instead as well. And so the what to do instead for this, if you're someone who's listening and you're like, oh my God, I do have this one landing page that I just keep pinning over and over again to get opt-ins. Um, there's a few things you can do, but the very first basic thing that I think about, like if this is working for you, here's how to lean in to get this working for you and be able to increase your volume of pins just a little bit. It doesn't have to be, like, 8 a day or anything, but if you want to pin like more than a couple a week, start a blog. And it's really simple. And I know everybody always say, oh, I don't really want to blog, but all you really have to do, if you have a landing page and a freebie that's converting well, my challenge to you or my goal, and this is what I tell people to do, is just create like 4 blog posts to start and see how that feels. Think about the problem that your freebie solves or problems. A lot of times our freebies solve a few different problems. Think about the things that people kind of like need to unlearn or the mistakes they're making that your um, freebie is going to help them unlearn or help kind of get them back like onto the right path instead of like right now they're doing something that doesn't work and you want to get them over to your freebie where they can learn what does work, right? Think about those things and just write blog posts about those things and have the call to action for those blog posts be your freebie, right? So you're going to write and then you're going to say, if you want to do this thing that I just told you about, I have a great free resource for you. You describe what's in the freebie, especially as it relates to what you just talked about, whether it was a problem that they have or a goal that they want to get to, or something they're doing wrong that you want to help them do right now, whatever those things are, your call to action is to grab the freebie. And now you have, if you write 4 blog posts like that, now you have 5 links that you can pin on a regular basis. And now you could actually pin each of those, let's say, to be safe, like 3 to 4 times a month, I would say. I wouldn't do more than that, but there's no bright white line. That's just my general, what I would do if I were in your shoes and what I see working without getting people caught in the spam filter. Um, and then you can build on that if you want to as well. But that's the big mistake I think that I see a lot of digital product sellers, especially course creators, making, because they really want to grow their email list and they want to use this freebie that they already see is converting well for them and get more eyes on it. So they get excited and then they're just pinning it over and over again. And you definitely don't want to be pinning the same URL to Pinterest over and over again without pinning other pins in between, other URLs in between. So that's the mistake and how to fix it.
I like that. And a lot of people do. I have had a lot of people over the years come to me and ask, I only have like 1 or 2 blogs or 1 or 2 products. Is Pinterest really going to be a fit for me? And I always let them know, like, I think you should have more content. I think you should have more things to pin. Like,
Yeah.
I posted a thread yesterday that actually got shared pretty widely or seen pretty widely, and it was 10 things that you can create pins for. And a lot of people don't realize that there are so many other things that you can actually make Pinterest pins for, and you don't just have to be stuck with the one landing page or, the
Landing page,
5
landing page, right.
blog posts or whatever. So I'm going to read them off. So we have blog posts, shop listings, opt-ins, YouTube videos, service pages, testimonials, any guest posts or media features where you are at,
Mm.
any third-party sales platform links that you have. So maybe you only have one thing on your Shopify store, but you have 10 things on Etsy, or
Hmm.
you sell on Teachers Pay Teachers. I actually have a client that has multiple clients that have multiple sales platforms. So
Hmm.
one client has Etsy, Shopify, Creative Market. The other one has Etsy, Shopify, and Teachers Pay Teachers.
Hmm.
And then pretty much any of those digital product landing pages that you have on your own website and your own business. Those are all really great ways to generate more eyeballs on your Pinterest pins, and they probably all relate to that thing you're doing anyways.
Yep. Yep. So those
So
are things that can kind of like you can put in there to diversify the links that you're using.
yeah,
Yeah. I still maintain I think blog posts are going to be the highest
I
converting,
love
like the
blogs.
best bang for your buck, because if you think about the customer journey, like you could pin Instagram posts, you could pin, your shop products, definitely. Like that would make sense. But the customer journey from Pinterest, someone who's finding you because they don't know you yet, they're a cold audience, but they searched for
Yeah.
something that your freebie solves, right?
Mhm.
They find you. And to me, it feels like, giving them a little something to like sink their teeth into, where you explain that you understand the problem that they
Yeah.
have that they were searching for, that your freebie like helps them with, like, chef's kiss. So good. Like
Yeah.
you're getting people just exactly ready and exactly where you want them to say, like, yes, I need that freebie. Take my email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you guys want to know exactly how to optimize a blog post to get people to convert, Jana and I both have um, courses on that. So you can join those and learn
Mhm.
how to write really effective blog posts and
Yeah. I kind
write
of just
blog
gave you a
posts that
crash course
convert.
on it. I just got, I kind of just like gave a little bit of like a secret
You
crash
did.
course on it 2 minutes ago. I'm like, problems, myths.
Little
What do they
taste.
want? Goals, desires.
But then people are going to struggle with what to actually put in those.
Well, yeah, right. And that's why I give
So,
outlines and stuff. And yeah, yeah. And you
yeah,
have, you also, I know some other resources you teach are going to be really helpful for digital product sellers who,
and bloggers.
right, who also want to think about keywords as well,
Mhm.
because you're so good at like SEO across platforms, not just Google SEO, but also
Yeah,
YouTube. And so
I love
lots of
it.
good things to learn about that, but it doesn't have to be complicated. You can
Yeah.
just diversify your links by creating some content. Ideally, I like to see it on your website.
So one of my mistakes, Jana, is not pinning any of the digital products. So I know we just talked about only pinning one link,
Hmm.
but on the other side of that is simply not pinning your links at all and
Oh,
only ever
like your
pinning.
paid
Yeah.
products. Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, and only ever just pinning those free blog posts.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get stuck in that, that they really can only pin blog posts or whatever. But, circa 2019, we really started seeing a lot more paid products coming on the platform. Now, we saw them coming on the platform in the form of physical products, but for years, we've had food creators selling cookbooks and
Hmm.
things of that nature. Digital courses have kind of always been there, but the majority of people selling those digital courses were writing blog posts showcasing the digital course and then
Hmm.
pinning the blog post still. And I
Yep.
still think you can just pin your landing pages for or the shop listing items, because I know a lot of digital sellers actually have Shopify stores like I
Hmm.
do now.
Yep.
You can quite literally just pin those listings.
Yeah. And then in the digital course kind of realm, this basically just looks like pinning your sales page.
Yeah.
That's really what it is, having a sales page, which I'm sure you already do for your digital product if it's a course. If you don't, you really should.
Yeah.
Sales pages are important. And then just creating pins for that sales page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the time I'm actually working on a sales page in my Shopify store. I got to get the template finalized first, but I'm working on a traditional sales page style landing page in Shopify, and it's kind of a custom page I'm gonna have to build out. My friend Allie's gonna help me visualize what that looks like.
Hmm.
But then I'm gonna kind of convert my sales page to Shopify for my roadmap course, my Pinterest roadmap course.
Okay.
And it'll have the shop listing like embedded right in
Hmm.
it where you can click like add to cart, but all that sales page information will be there. And then you
Hmm.
could go to the shop listing and, you know, do all your little things. But ultimately, I will be able to add more information there because not everyone comes back and leaves reviews, but I
Hmm.
do have some great testimonials that I could share in a sales page style
Yeah.
format, and that might actually help people to visualize better why they should purchase your course if you had, even on Shopify, more of a sales page. It
Hmm.
is possible with even like a plain dawn theme, and I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's like the main free theme that people use when they create a Shopify store. It's possible to create like, OG digital product seller style, coach course creator style sales pages in there.
Okay.
Just get a little creative with it. And then you can link those pages to Pinterest.
Hmm.
And then one of the benefits of doing that is when you link the listing URL in Shopify, it overwrites your description.
Right.
If you have a custom landing page,
Oh, then
especially
it
on
won't.
Shopify, it
Hmm.
won't do that.
Oh, and then you can have your own keyword optimized descriptions the way you want them. Okay. Although you can do that with your shop listings too. You just have to do it at the shop listing level.
You have to do it on the shop listing, yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
itself. And
Yeah.
that's something that a lot of people just don't take
Take
the
the
time
time
to
to think about, or they're not
do.
as strategic or as I guess just strategic thinkers in that
Yeah.
way. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Do something about oh, I was just going to say, I think, back in the day when you and I first started on Pinterest, we didn't know each other back then, but we both started around the same time, eight years ago, roughly.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of Pinterest managers were sort of like against the idea of putting, your products directly or your product pages or your um, sales pages, basically. The idea being that like they wanted there to be a funnel behind each pin, you know what I mean? That like, so, but the thing is that like, we don't necessarily recommend that you only do that, right? That's the thing. It's like Pinterest managers don't want you to only pin your sales page
Yeah.
and expect results. Although I will say, one random thing to throw in that I thought of while you were talking too is that like generally speaking, the higher the price point for your digital product, the more of a sales page you're going to need to have because people need more information to feel safe making a larger purchase, right? So for like my high leverage content 997 course, that's $997. I have a full-fledged, sales page with everything that's in it, everything I teach you, case studies for people who've gotten clients using their HLC client. There was, content, testimonials, every frequently asked question I could think of that's, been asked more than once, or let's see what else is on a sales page, all the things, basically who this is for and who this isn't for, so that people are very clear, like if they land there, like, whether it's for them or not, all those things. So the higher the price point, the more you need like a full, sales page type of thing. All that being said, back to my original point, which is that we don't want you to only be pinning sales pages, but we also don't want you to not pin them at all, right?
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Is it's a mistake to just skip over the sales pages altogether and only pin free content.
Yeah.
We love free content. We want you to pin it, but we want you to also realize you can pin your paid offers.
Yeah, for sure. And you can pin those. In Jana's mistake, she was talking about pinning, your email list as an example. You
Mhm.
can also pin those. And I think that's also just important to remember you're not stuck with um, only blogs or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I gave you a list of 10 things. It really truly is very diversified. I joke around with my membership community. Um, as long as it's not your legal pages, you can probably put a pin to it.
Yeah. That'd be funny to
So,
pin your like terms and conditions.
yeah,
Like,
be kind of weird, but I mean,
we
you
should
could do
try it
it
and
if
just
you
see what
wanted
happens.
to.
Yeah. I mean, if you land on my terms and conditions page, you're still going to have like the banner across the top, I think, that says
Yeah.
like opt into the free Pinterest marketing masterclass for coaches. So who knows? I might get some opt-ins that way, but
That's so funny.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, Tamisha's here. Hi, Tamisha.
Hey, Tamisha.
Welcome. Okay, what do you got for me, Jenna? What's mistake number two for you?
Oh, I can't remember. Let me check my notes. I don't remember what I said. Oh, I just like saw that I have like 1,000 tabs open. Oh my goodness.
I have four. I'm so proud of myself.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
important. That is good. Okay, so I noticed that digital product sellers, and again, like my brain goes to course creators just because, again, I work with coaches and service providers, and they typically end up creating courses when they do digital products. Not
Yeah.
always, but that's where I go. Um, I noticed that like the digital product sellers, course creators who are really on their game, like who have been doing it a while, they tend to be very numbers driven and ROI focused, as they should be. They totally should be.
Yeah.
But because of that, because they're always thinking, okay, well, for every 20 opt-ins I get, into this funnel, I make one sale, or, I know my numbers basically, because they've trained their brains to be that way. And I, again, love that. Like you have to be looking at the numbers if you want to be measuring your ROI on what works and doesn't. They sometimes are, they sometimes misunderstand Pinterest and jump in and start doing it and expect sales from Pinterest within like the first 30 days of
Yeah.
starting a new account, or pivoting an account that they used to use that they're now using for their digital products, or getting involved with pinning again when maybe they hadn't pinned for a year or something like that. So it's easy for people to um, expand into Pinterest. Again, it's like that digital product course creator mindset where they're like, okay, this is great. I have a funnel that's working.
Yep.
For every 20 people that sign up for this funnel, I make a sale. So how can I get more signups? And they start looking around and thinking, well, Instagram's a little slow, and this, I've already got this on lock and whatever. What else is out there? Ooh, Pinterest, right?
Yep.
Jump into it, start doing it, or start doing it again, and think that they're going to get sales within the first 30 days. I'm not saying it's never happened, right? Heather, I would be willing to bet money that it's happened for you because you've had so many clients over the years and you're so good at Pinterest. I'm sure you've seen it happen, but it's the exception to the rule to make sales from your digital products within the first 30 days of starting or restarting a Pinterest strategy.
Hmm.
So I think it's more realistic to go into it realizing that the first like 3 months are just going to be for growing your audience and getting the algorithm rewarmed up, and basically letting Pinterest trust your account again and starting to give your pins better reach. So you want to be looking for reach really in the first 3 months or so. Then at that point, that's where I typically have seen people start to get outbound clicks that are meaningful to their business
Yeah.
after the first like 3, 4, 5 months. And then you start to get enough of those outbound clicks where for every outbound click you get, for every 10 you get, or let's say for every, two, let's say for every 5 outbound clicks, you get 4 opt-ins because you have a good landing page that's converting at, 80%. And then for every 20 of those, you make a sale, right? So it takes a while to kind of layer on those different the things that you see in terms of growth, but it's not a 30-day thing. Typically, it's usually going to be 6 months, 9 months, a year before you
Hmm.
really start seeing meaningful sales, coming from a platform like Pinterest. So that's, I think, the mistake is that basically they come in and they're very ROI minded, which is great, very numbers oriented, but sometimes that makes it so that they quit too soon because they're expecting faster growth. And
Yeah.
the weird thing about Pinterest is it's very much like, I mean, a lot of platforms are like this, but Pinterest truly, really is this like snowball effect where the first 3 months are really hard. The first 6 months are really, when I say really hard, I don't mean it doesn't have to be hard. It's just like if you're looking at your stats every day, you're not going to see
It's a
them growing
slog.
fast. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
slog. But once you get to the point where you do start to see results, it starts growing exponentially. So all that work you did was worth it, but it takes a little while to get your brain on board with all the work you have to put in before you start seeing the evidence that now that snowball is starting to snowball. So overall, this whole story that I'm telling comes down to the other big mistake that I see digital product sellers make, which is basically quitting too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to give you guys some context for, um, content differences on different platforms. For example, I've been posting more of my like everyday, just general blog posts on LinkedIn. And I got an alert the other day that one of my LinkedIn posts had gotten like 38 impressions, like 38 views. I think
So
that's
they
what
were
the email.
saying that's like more than usual. That's why they gave you the alert.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
they've started sending me alerts because I've started posting on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at my most recent Pinterest pins that are roughly a week old or more, because the ones that are like a day or less are like 17 impressions, like like really low. But there's a pin that posted just like 4 days ago and it's got 47 impressions.
Mm-hmm.
Like just if I and it's apples to oranges, okay,
Mm-hmm.
apples to oranges. But when I'm looking at platform differences, the benefit of Pinterest, and I think the sustainability of Pinterest is that so you'll get so many more views than you will other platforms. And views shouldn't just be discounted either.
Mhm.
These are brand awareness. Like you
Yep.
are solidifying your brand, your name, your products, your offers into the minds of your potential audience
Yep. It's creating
and
trust.
buyers. Yeah.
Hmm.
So the more they see you, the more that trust level is going to go up, up, up. So don't discount just the views. Now, I know we want saves. I know we want clicks. Those also come over time. But if you are just focusing on, oh, why isn't Pinterest like giving me more views? Why can't like
Hmm.
it's been a week. I've got no views. No views usually means like stuff 17. You know, they have
Hmm.
views, but it's like so minimal, it's like nothing to them. But how many views are you getting on your Instagram?
I know people are so brainwashed into thinking that they're getting better reach on these other platforms when it's really not so much true
Yeah.
anymore across the board. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. How
Yeah, I mean,
many
it's not true.
clicks to your website? I
Hmm.
actually did this.
Oh, clicks to website
Um,
is not even comparison. I mean,
no,
everyone I know that does any kind of like even minimum viable Pinterest strategy gets more clicks to their website from Pinterest than Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook combined
just looking at the
after
very,
after 3 to 6 months or so. Yeah.
yeah, just looking at the very last month in 2023, I was able to track because Google stopped for some reason. One of my clients, I was no in Google Analytics, I was no longer able to track Instagram sessions. For some reason, they're just not available. So the very last month I was able to track them, she had 234 sessions initiated from Instagram compared to 4,443 from Pinterest. So
Yeah.
it's just it doesn't even like let's not compare it, but also don't get caught up in that mistake bucket of, you know, I'm looking at my impressions way too often and it's
Right.
like I'm choke holding this
Right.
baby that I'm
Right.
trying to
Right.
nurture.
I know, right? That's funny. That's a good analogy. Maybe we should use a plant instead of a baby, but um oh, and this comes back to, one of the more controversial kind of opinions that you and I both hold and share about Pinterest, which is that we don't think anyone should even look at their analytics for the first 3 months.
No.
I know everybody peeks anyway because they want to know what's going on. It's exciting for, to be on a new platform and whatnot. But we truly, like we say, don't even check your analytics for the first 3 months because what we want you to do instead is spend your time getting in the routine of a consistent pinning strategy and parking your content on Pinterest regularly.
Yeah.
Because like I always say, like if someone's searching for your thing on Pinterest, right, that exact thing that you help with through your paid offers or your free offers, and your content's not there, they can't find you. And if they're
Yeah.
searching for that thing and your content is there, then they could find you. Like it's that simple in some ways. So my point being that we always say like we want to get in that habit and then don't even look at the analytics because they're not going to be motivating to you in the first 3 months. They're just not.
Yeah.
They're going to, in fact, if anything, they're probably going to be demotivating because it's just that's how the platform works. This is what it
Honestly.
is.
Yeah. It's exhausting. And there are some things that go kind of mini viral. Like I had one that I created in June. This is a pin that we created in June and it has 8,700 impressions on it and it's a pin about ChatGPT, but like my next one down under that is like keyword optimization and it's like 4,500
Mhm.
impressions. Like that's a lot for me, but like I'm
Yeah,
having
it's
these
great.
mini viral runs on pins. It
Yeah.
should also be said, like I'm running some ads and that's probably why some of my pins are coming up
Yep.
for other people again after the ads, but
Right. So just to be clear, though, we talked about this a lot too, but like when you say you're running ads, you're not running ads on those pins that are getting
no,
all those impressions. You're running ads on your account. And
yeah,
Pinterest has this interesting, very unique, no other platform really has the same setup where when you run ads, they even after you turn the ads off, they have this like residual effect on your account. So, but
yeah.
yeah. So cool. All right. So we listed 3 mistakes so far. I hope we're going to be able to summarize them again, like go back and remember what they were. I don't remember trying to remember what mine were.
I
Okay, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. So far, we talked about mistakes, Pinterest mistakes digital product sellers make. First, we talked about pinning one landing page
Hmm.
over and over and over again and only having one URL because you're
Yeah.
like pinning to a freebie that's converting and you're excited. So you're just like boom, 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 boom. You don't want to do that. You need to diversify your URLs. You can get your account shut down. It's not a good idea. Um, and then the second mistake we talked about was, shoot, what was the one that you brought?
Just not pinning your products at all.
Right, just not pinning your paid products at all, which is kind of like the old way of thinking. Like when we first started, people were like, "Oh, you need a funnel behind every pin." No, it's good to have a funnel behind some pins, but you can pin your paid products. It works.
Yeah.
People get conversions that way, especially if they're like lower ticket, like under $100 or whatever. But
Hmm.
that's not a hard and fast rule either. And then the third mistake that people make is quitting too soon because digital product sellers, especially course creators, tend to be very numbers driven.
Yeah.
And Pinterest doesn't deliver the best numbers in the first 3 months, so people can get a little bit um, and then like quit too soon before they actually start to get the actual ROI that they will get if they keep going.
Yeah.
So those are the first three mistakes. Did we cover? Did you have another one you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, my last mistake for a digital product seller specifically is starting your ads too soon.
Mm.
So some sellers will start running ads to products that have never been validated that they will convert even organically.
Yep. Did
And
you
I
hear that?
really,
Did you hear that sound? I think that was a sound of money flushing down the toilet.
I heard that. Is that real?
No, I was
There
just
is a
making it up.
bathroom
They're
right behind you.
flushing money down the toilet. Sorry, go ahead. Yep.
Um, Starting ads a little too early before you validated that your products are even going to sell organically can be a giant waste of money. And I don't want you to waste your money and feel like, oh, well, I can just run retargeting ads and that'll fix the money that I spent on these other ads over here.
Run
Uh,
what? What's that?
Running retargeting ads?
Oh, retargeting. I think you said returning ads. Okay, I know what retargeting
No.
ads are. Okay, yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah, running some retargeting ads. They're not a fix-all.
Mm-hmm.
So just let's validate that our products and offers are going to sell organically before we put some ad money behind it, especially with Pinterest, because Pinterest ads are a tough nut to crack. And
Mm.
there have been accounts that I even haven't been able to successfully run ads for them, not in the timeline or within the budget that they were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, even an expert like myself is not going to be your save all. And if you come to me and you're like, I've got to make this work or I can't pay, I'm immediately going to turn you away. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're not doing that. Let's not do that.
Mm-hmm.
Try to sell your ads organically through your content, through
Mm-hmm.
stories on social media,
Mm-hmm.
through social media posts, through DMs, and get
Mm-hmm.
some validation that the sales page copy, the messaging, the product is what people want.
Mm-hmm. Before you start paying for ads for, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, definitely. And I think digital product sellers in particular, I mean, anyone can fall into this trap, but I see it, you're right. Digital product sellers seem to be
They want to go for it
more,
so soon.
yeah, they tend to feel like ads are going to work for them, and just be willing to take like some kind of leap of faith where,
Yeah.
it's really not the best idea to run ads on something that hasn't converted organically yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. Good one.
keep
Good one.
that in
Good one.
mind.
All right. Well, I think those were really good. Those were like hyper relevant to this particular audience. And next week, we're going to be talking about physical product sellers and the mistakes that they make. And it's probably going to be quite different because,
Yeah.
again, these different business models are really different. And if there's anyone catching this that didn't catch the very beginning, then this is a 4-part series. So next week, we're going to talk about mistakes on Pinterest that physical product sellers make. The week after that, we're going to talk about mistakes on Pinterest that coaches and service providers make. And then the fourth week, we're going to talk about mistakes on Pinterest mistakes that bloggers make. And when we say bloggers, we mean people who monetize their blog with ads and affiliate links in the traditional blog monetization ways.
Yeah. And just so you guys are aware, we are taking just a brief week off between
Oh, yeah.
one of these. So the fourth, we'll be here the fourth, we'll be here the 18th. But the 11th, the week of the 11th, we'll be in Dallas together. So
Dallas.
we
Yep.
won't have,
We're going to Make Your Mark, which is a retreat in Dallas, Texas. I think there's a
Yep.
few more tickets. So if anyone wants to
Yeah.
join us,
I saw a
message
last
one
minute
of
call
us.
for tickets a
Oh,
few
good.
days ago.
Yeah. And then today's the 21st. So we actually have one more August date too, one more August
We
live
do.
before we head out too. So,
So we
all
have
right.
2 weeks, 2 more lives, then we'll be together, and then we'll have um our final one in the series on the 18th. So, okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Well, Jana, I'll see you back here same time, same place next week.
Sounds good.
It's a date. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
And we're out. Okay, that was good.
Yeah.
I really feel like I
It's good
want
to
to have
get